for X1, which is the main product that we are releasing now, we're starting with MDVR from day one. So what that means is we have a Mocha-based network within the home, and we have a gateway device, and we have currently tuner-based, tuner-based client devices as well. But as we move forward, we would start seeing IP client device, IP-only client devices. And then the next generation, we will start seeing more and more gateway devices, which are headless gateway devices. And then we'll also be seeing a lot more of the services moved back to the cloud, essentially. Yeah, that's very interesting. And what we are seeing is we have to now make a decision on what would run on the client device versus what we should put back in the cloud. So any new service, we now have to think to see whether does it make sense to run on the client or whether on the cloud. So how we make the distinction is what is the interactivity requirement or what is the processing power requirement. Like for example, things that we could, let's say, we are kind of experimenting with video gaming back in the cloud. So that is where we would have a lot of we have a lot of servers which would be required to run these video games. And that could run on the cloud, certainly. And then what we need on the set-top box then is mainly a presentation engine, and then the ability for us to send the keys up. What we are seeing is, as you said, with our new generation of UI, what we see is we can actually unleash the power of the set-top box. Like earlier, for like 10, 15 years, we had the same UI. So if we had a powerful set-top box, the user wouldn't see the difference. But now we have our new generation of UI, which actually, you could actually see the power of the set-top box. What that means is, now we would see a lot more demand for more and more power and capabilities in the box because our UI and our new user experience could unleash that. So we think that there's going to be a lot more innovation on set-top box space, and the innovation now would be on the hardware side as well as software side. What that would mean is the 7-year cycles for set-top box won't fly anymore. So we would need to get into upgrade cycles, probably not as quite as cell phones, but we may need to get into much more faster upgrade cycles. So in 1.3, I think two big features that we have added is support for IP client and support for gateway devices only. So with this, we now support headed gateway as well as headless gateway. And the second is the IP client. We needed a lot of features necessary for us to deploy and operationalize IP client, like TR69. So we added those features in 1.3. We actually are getting a lot of interest from people around the globe, in Europe, as well as people from South America and other parts of the world, in exploring RDK. So most of the discussions are preliminary. There are some people who, like Liberty Global, who are actually moving forward with our RDK, but there are so many others who are actually in discussion with us or are exploring RDK right now. Yeah, I think in RDK 1.x, like 1.1 or 1.2, we still had the OCAP, which is the OCAP reference implementation, which was built by CableLab. And that was a core aspect of RDK for 1.x. But we felt like that was bringing in a lot of code which didn't completely apply to the next generation of devices that we care for. So one big change that we did is the removal of OCAP and replacing it with something a lot more modern, a new media framework, which we call RDK Media Framework. Well, I did see a lot of demonstration of RDK, which was surprising, which is actually a lot more than I had expected. I haven't had a lot of chance to walk around, but this is my first trip to IBC, so I was pleasantly surprised by how big this is and all the activities going on here.